Hello and welcome to the San Francisco section Boys and Girls Swim Championships on PlayOnSports.com. This is the PlayOnSports.com pregame show. I'm Zach Farmer with Mike Cronin-Wett on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. And Mike, we're looking at a 42 race meet, and there's definitely going to be some big-time competition in this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the results from yesterday, and it seems that we have quite the meet ahead of us. This is the city of San Francisco's glorified league, if you will, but it seems that even though we have limited in schools, we still have great supply of just pure athletes and numbers that are backing that up.
6 schools are participating in this championship event. It's Galileo, Lincoln, Balboa, Mission, Lowell, and Wallenberg high schools. And already yesterday in our trials, we saw 3 records broken, 2 at the varsity level and 1 at the JV level. And one of those varsity records was broken by a guy. Well, he's no stranger to actually breaking records, and that's Jared Vu out of Lincoln.
Yeah, Jared Vu. I mean, give that kid a scholarship if he hasn't had one offered already. Guy broke his own record. I mean, that goes to tell you how much that guy is just head and shoulders above the competition appears in the boys 100 fly varsity.
Jared Vu last year set a championship record in the 100-yard fly at 52 seconds, and just yesterday he actually broke that record by almost 3 seconds when he raced at 49.82 seconds. And he's going to be in a lot of these races, and you're going to be hearing his name a lot today.
Yeah, it just goes to show you about the Lowell swim team that I know Jared's actually from Lincoln, but it goes to show you just the swimming level of competition here in the city is just really superb. Obviously, we've talked and highlighted about Jared, but we also have a very strong contingent and very strong numbers from the Lowell swim team as we see the big banner across the pool. But it should be a good race. It should be a good, strong competition today.
We will be seeing both junior varsity and varsity races today, so you're going to be getting a good look at not only what the Academic Athletic Association here in San Francisco has to offer at the top level, but also what's going to be coming up through the ranks over the next few years, and you'll be able to get to see kind of what talent there actually is in this league.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
All right, we're getting ready to get started here at City College of San Francisco for the Boys and Girls Championship for the San Francisco section on PlayOnSports.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the start of the meet here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. All right, welcome back to our live broadcast of the San Francisco Section Boys and Girls Swimming Championships here at City College of San Francisco on playonsports.com, your destination for high school sports. I'm Zach Farmer along with Mike Cronenwet, and we're about to get started here. And the first race today is going to be we're going to have a pair of junior varsity races. These are going to be the boys and girls 200-yard medley relay, and then after that, we're actually going to get a look at our first varsity races. The girls' 200-yard medley relay, and then also the boys' 200-yard medley relay, and we're going to get our first look at Jared Vu pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks like with the actually our first race is this JV. What am I looking at? JV 200-yard medley relay, and it looks like the Lowell team is going to be the favorite in this. Their seeding time coming in is 2:08, but there's a strong chance that maybe Lincoln, who's 8 seconds behind them, but you never know, could give them a nice competition here to start out our day.
Yep. Their time Lowell set a time yesterday, I believe this was 1:59, and the next team, Lincoln, timed in at 2:10. So there is definitely a significant difference here, but one bad jump, one bad turn could actually make the difference in this race, and this could be actually a lot closer, or you could actually see an upset in this. Now, Lowell has dominated the league for the most part in the swimming competition. They won all the round-robin races this year, and they won 3 of the 4 boys and girls varsity leagues. And so this is a very strong team. You're going to see a lot of their teams, a lot of their swimmers near the top of these races, and competing for a lot of these championships.
Yeah, that was, you were mentioning the varsity 200 relay, relay, I should say. But, Lowell, as we talked earlier in the show, Lowell has a strong swimming program. This is nothing new here. They just have a stronger program, it seems. As we talked earlier, they got their giant banner, and they've just been dominating. Just in general, they've been dominating up and down the circuit and this league. So we'll see.
The boys and girls varsity team for Lowell has not actually lost a city championship since 1995-96, and that was in the boys varsity when Washington won it. So this is a long-standing tradition of that Lowell is continually on the top of the swim programs in the city. And so is it going to be a long shot to see maybe another team overtake Lowell? Yes, but you are definitely going to see some individual performances from other schools, whether it be from Balboa, Lincoln, Galileo, and we'll have some big competition coming up.
I don't know about you, but I just feel like I always kind of pull for the underdog. It's like, let's see an upset, So if anything, it'll be nice to see how these swimmers react and see if they can improve on their seed times, because that's more important than anything for these athletes, to just improve on their time and get your personal best.
All right, so we're about getting ready. The swimmers are starting to line up. We got Washington in lane 2. We have Lincoln in lane 3. Lowell in lane 4. Balboa in lane 5. Galileo is in lane 6. And then the Mission team is in lane 7. This is the girls' 200-yard medley relay for the junior varsity division. And this race is just about to get started.
Yeah, as we said earlier, keep an eye out for the Lowell team in lane 4. Their seed time's about 8 seconds better than the next best, which would be Balboa, which is in lane 5. So keep your eye on those two.
All right, looks like getting a lot. Some of the girls fixing their goggles up right now, and I think we're about to get going. Just waiting on referees to kind of be all set and ready to go. And here we go.
So far, it looks like
we have Balboa out in front. It looks like in lane 5. Also in lane 3, Lincoln is also right there with Balboa. For Balboa, that is Betty Chen, a freshman, and then in lane 3, that is Allison Quaff, a junior. And those two are well out in front of the pack.
Looks like it's Lincoln and Balboa with as we were saying, Balboa with the slight lead. Lincoln's right there with him, so we'll see.
Like Balboa has taken a slight edge that appears to be Malia Bow out in front.
All right,
and she's made the turn, and Lincoln is falling a little bit behind, but still keeping pace. And it looks like Lowell is actually starting to catch up in this one. Lowell being in lane 4. Trailing them, you have Washington out in lane 2, and then Mission out in lane 7.
Look out for Lincoln too. Lincoln's starting to catch up a little bit with that last lap.
Now Balboa looks like they're starting to pull away in this one, as Balboa's now made their third turn. Now, the Lowell is now starting to catch up to the Lincoln team. This is definitely going to come out to this last swimmers. We have Balboa, Lincoln, and Lowell all right there with each other.
Lowell's jumped ahead of Lincoln now. Now it's going to be between, it looks like Lincoln and Balboa here on the finish.
Down the stretch, and Lowell is catching up very quickly. That last Lowell racer looks like Stephanie Chen, and she is closing the gap.
Oh, she's pulling. It's going to be close.
This looks like it's going to come right down to the end. Balboa trying to hold on. It looks like Chen is starting to pull away, and right at the end,
it looks like.
Yeah, this is very close. Right there at the end, it looks like that is Balboa. The early timing has Balboa winning that race by just fractions of a second.
Yeah.
2:12.16 for Balboa, and that looked like 2:12.37 for Lowell. That, talk about fractions of a second making the difference there.
Well, Lowell fell behind early, and I think it cost them in this race. They were in mostly third place throughout the first half of this race, and Lincoln, who actually started off strong, kind of fell apart there at the end, and finished in third place at 2:17, I believe. But it just seemed like Lowell from the beginning just wasn't, they didn't have real strong swimming effort at the beginning, and then as the race went on, they got stronger later in the race, but just not enough to beat Balboa.
Stephanie Chen came on very strong in that last turn for Lowell, and it really looked like that they were actually going to be able to pull that one out and get that, but fortunately it looked like Allison Cito was actually, for Balboa, a junior, was able to actually hold on and win that race just ahead of Lowell. So I'm going to mark that first one down for Balboa as they get into the win column early.
Yeah, and it's we got the boys coming up now, and it looks like actually we might have a similar showdown. It's with their seed times, and seed time, for you guys that don't know, is the season best for theirs. All
right, so for this one we got the boys 200-yard medley relay. This one is again for the junior varsity. We have Galileo getting ready in lane 2. We have Washington in lane 3, Lowell in lane 4, Balboa in lane 5, Mission in lane 6, and then Lincoln out in lane 7. And the best seed times from yesterday were Lowell at 2:05 and Balboa at 2:09, and here we go.
Looks like we're going to have another Balboa-Lowell matchup here on the final end, but we'll see.
All right. Lowell has taken the early lead. That is Lawrence Tam, who's jumped out early in front, being trailed very closely by Balboa and then also Galileo. That is Stephen Liang for Galileo and then Kevin Long for Balboa. All three kind of right there with each other.
See,
Lowell taking the big lead right now.
They
trail closely by Balboa, Galileo. Then we have Washington, and then out in lane 7, that is Lincoln, and then followed by Mission.
Aaron Chow is really pulling away right now for Lowell.
So he has started. Now they have made a big big gap between Lowell and then Balboa and Galileo as they are battling out for second at the moment.
Yeah, this is almost looks like a blowout going on right now in the water as Lowell is approaching halfway through the pole on their third lap.
Lowell is already a couple seconds into their turn, and now just Balboa and Galileo are just now making their turn in second place.
We have our final.
Lowell has only one more swimmer, and here we go, and he's already out and halfway down the end of the pool, and both Galileo and Balboa just got into the water.
This could be a team best record here for Lowell if he finishes strong, which it looks like he's just tearing the water up.
We got a minute 49. We could actually have a very good time. The city record is 1:55, and that was very close. They may have gotten actually a record right there. And out of nowhere, Washington's catching up very quickly to Balboa and Galileo, but it looks like that
they have gotten the record. They got it by. They got 155.49, which is the new one. 155.75 by Lincoln was the former record.
So the early count looks like the Lowell relay team there may have actually set a city record, but we got to make sure we got to get the confirmation from the officials table. We'll get that in a little bit for you. That Lowell team was Lawrence Tam, freshman, sophomore Aaron Chow, sophomore Andrew Lay, and sophomore Jordan Jiang for that relay for Lowell.
Lowell just looked like they were in another league. Just right away, they just jumped out to a huge lead and just never relinquished it in that last race.
All right, so now we're moving on to race number 3 as the varsity girls start to get up to their spots. This is the 200-yard medley relay. In lane 3, we have Balboa. Lane 4 is Lowell. And lane 5 is Lincoln.
Yeah, this is the first event that it looks like the seed times and the trial times just seem to be a little farther apart than the rest. So far, it just seemed like everybody was kind of in the middle of a pack where, not one group was better than the other. But so far, from the times earlier in the year, it looks like Lowell is going to be the favorite in this event.
All right, so our first swimmers. All right, in lane 3 for Balboa, that is Caitlin Chewy. For Lowell in lane 4, that is Sharita Lee. And in lane 5 for Lincoln, that is Megan McKay. And Lowell has taken the early lead, but Lincoln is right behind.
Yeah, so far, Lowell has slightly, as we said earlier, but it looks like Lincoln maybe came to give them a good run right now. So we'll see.
McKay is shortly behind Lee right there. As both Lowell and Lincoln swimmers get into the water, those new swimmers for Lowell, that is Amanda Bowie, and for Lincoln, that is Emily Gong. And for Balboa, that is Aurora Alvarez.
She's getting cheered on. They're both getting cheered on by a contingent of swimmers right here on our left.
And Lincoln and Lowell still kind of neck and neck right now. As we head into our third swimmers for both teams, and both are still neck and neck right now. Although it looks like right now Lowell's starting to pull away. It looks like it to be Amanda Yee. She begins to pull away as she makes the turn. For Lincoln out there in lane 5, that is Eliana Smostein. And out for Balboa right now is Sarah Tran.
All right, it looks like Lowell's now really opened it up. It was neck and neck there for a while. Now it looks like Lowell's just going to pull away with another win here, unless Lincoln does something miraculous down the stretch.
All right, here we go. And Lowell, they are now pulling away. This one looks like it's going to be an easy one for them. As they win this one. It looks like they also beat their trial time from yesterday. It's like got a finish of 1:58.59, just short of what they had yesterday, which was at 1:59 even. So Lowell wraps up their first varsity win of the day.
And the times kind of indicated what we thought coming in. The Lowell team was just a little bit better than their two opponents, I should say. And it's just, Balboa came in a distant third. And then Lincoln they actually hung tough there for a while. And then Lowell just kind of pulled away with the better swimmers, it looked like.
All right. Well, that's a second win for Lowell overall, and that's one. So for a win for the JV boys and a win for the varsity girls early on. Next up is going to be the boys 200-yard medley relay. The varsity boys. Lane 2 is going to be Galileo as they start to make their way over. Lane 3 is Lowell. Lane 4 is Lincoln. Lane 5 is Washington, and lane 6 is Wallenberg. Now, this one to watch is definitely going to be this Lincoln team, who features our multiple city record holder, Jared Vu.
Yeah, we also had his teammate Jordan Vu also won the boys 100-yard back varsity yesterday. So this should be a very strong Lincoln team, but so far Lowell's swimming program has looked like it could match it. So we'll see how this plays out.
In the trial times, Lincoln finished with a 148.33. The next best was Washington, 151.86. And then it was Lowell at 153 even. And then after that, you had Wallenberg and Galileo. About to get set here. First swimmers, in lane 2, you have Gordon Huang from Galileo. In lane 3, Brandon McKay from Lowell. In lane 4, Jordan Vu from Lincoln. Lane 5, you have Jerry Fan from Washington. And lane 6, Kevin Marr from Wallenberg.
It already looks like Jordan's getting a nice lead early on here. Has a nice strong lead ahead of the Lowell and Washington swimmers.
Vu is well out ahead of everyone, and very quickly Lincoln gets in their second swimmer, which is Roy Tam. Lincoln very early pulling away in this one with Lowell in second, trailed by Washington, and then Galileo in lane 2.
And waiting on next for Lincoln is Jared.
Yeah, Jared Vu is next up, and here we go. Got Vu is just eating up this water. He's
He has quite the Michael Phelps performance going on right now as he's pulling away from the other swimmers.
115 in the race. So the league record is 143 as Lincoln already has their final swimmer into the water. And that is Dylan Tang.
This may be a new city record. We'll have to see.
It's going to be close. So you have looking way out in front, trailed by Lowell, then Washington, and then Galileo out in lane 2. And this is going to be really close, and this is going to be a city record. 140.32.
As they beat the Lowell record of 143 set in 2012. So congratulations to the new record holders here.
This early one is 140.80, excuse me, not 140.32. 140.80, which is almost 3 seconds better than that Lowell team from last year.
Yeah, it was impressive watching the Vus, as we will. Both of them just right away showed their dominance in the pool as they pulled away from their competition. Started off really strong early by Jordan, and then Jared in that third frame just opened it up.
All right, so now that's a win for Lincoln. Is now into the win column with our record-setting medley relay there. Now next is going to be the back to the junior varsity, the girls 200-yard freestyle. And then in lane 1, you have Gianna Fong from Washington. In lane 2, Lauren Zadorian from Lowell. In lane 3, you have Roycian Laughlin from Balboa. In lane 4 is Galileo's Danielle Munoz. In lane 5, from Balboa is Jacqueline Lee. In lane 6, Allison Qua from Lincoln. In lane 7, also from Lincoln, Alexandra Gunn. And in lane 8, Washington freshman Waki Guko.
It looks like so far they're all kind of neck and neck. Slight lead for, looks like lane 3, the Lincoln swimmer, or correction, lane 6. Looks like Allison
Qua looks like she's kind of jumped down in front, but we have Danielle Munoz who's actually closed the gap.
I mean, there's a pack of them right there. Two Balboa.
Have a pack of 4 2 Balboa swimmers. Those being Jacqueline Louie, Royce Laughlin, Danielle Munoz, and then also Allison Qua are right there all together. This is coming down.
Looks like I have a couple more.
And it still looks like early on that Qua still is out in the lead right now, followed closely by Munoz, and then it looks like McLaughlin and Louie.
Interesting enough, too, it looks like Danielle Munoz and Allison Qua, I should say, are both juniors. So maybe that extra experience has really helped them out. And it seems like that's the two that are kind of leading the pack right now. So maybe that extra swimming, I guess, years of experience in the pool is really helping them out in this race.
They continue to be out in front. As we have, looks like Qua still remains out in front, but Munoz looks like she's actually moved ahead of Qua.
Yeah, you're correct, partner. It looks like Munoz is starting to pull away a little bit.
And here we go. Munoz is starting to clear some space between her and Qua. Now the Balboa swimmers are starting to close the gap a bit as they turn up the gas. And that's going to be a win for Munoz.
Also gets Galileo on the board now in the win column. That was a good, solid race. It looked like early on it was a neck and neck, and then it was just a pack of swimmers. And the one leading the pack for this one is going to be Munoz.
All right, we got some official results from the official scores table from the early 4 races. We have, first off, obviously, the winner from the first race. She ended up being the winner of the first race. As I take a look at the final times, it looks like it actually ends up being Lowell who wins the first race, which was the girls 200-yard medley relay, the JVs. They finished with a time of 2:17:40. The winner from the... Oh, wait, no, I take it back. Sorry, as I'm looking at wrong things. Balboa finished in first in that one. We got Lowell with the official new record holder for the boys 200-yard in the JV. Then also we have Lincoln with the new record holder in the boys 200 varsity. And this race right now is the boys 200-yard freestyle in the JV division. We have Jeremy Showa from Mission in lane 1, Julian Greenhill from Lowell in lane 2, Galileo's Colin Hu lane 3. Lane 4 is Nolan Dang also from Lowell. His Lowell teammate Lawrence Tams in lane 5. Anthony Chu from Lincoln is in lane 6. Jordan Wiley is in lane 7 from Lowell. And in lane 8 we have Galileo's Stephen Liang.
Well, so far in this race, it looks like Nolan Dang has really opened up the lead here early on. We'll see if he can sustain it. So, I mean, we'll have to see it. But so far, it's just been Nolan pulling away.
Now we have let's see, in lane 4, that is Nolan Dang. He is well out of ahead of the pack. Well trailed by Galileo swimmer, that is Colin Hu, and then also his own teammate Julian Greenhill looks like he's also very close behind, along with Lawrence Tam.
interesting enough, also Nolan is another junior, and I think that extra experience, just like in the previous race, is starting to show here in this race.
We have a few juniors in these JV races, and they definitely look a bit more experienced. And maybe it's, hey, another year older, maybe just another year stronger for these races.
Very much so. Yeah, it looks like it's Nolan's race. He might be coming up. Let's see.
He's at least 3 body lengths ahead of the rest of the pack, as he's also trailed once again. That is Hu from Galileo, then also Tam from Lowell. And we're going to have a close one here. Looks like Dang finished in first. It looks like Hu was in second, followed by Tam right behind him. And finishing out the pack in lane 1 is Showa from Mission.
Yeah, it looked like it was outside of, it was Nolan's race, and everyone else was just happy to be in it, it looked like in that last one, as Nolan kind of extended his lead and won it fairly easy, but the rest of that pack seemed to be, pretty even. Seemed like an even race down for the second and third spot there.
All right, we're stepping up to the varsity now. We've got the girls 200-yard medley, 200-yard freestyle, back up to the varsity level. In lane 1, this is Lowell's Ingrid Adams. In lane 2, we got from Lowell, Sally Tan. Lane 3 is sophomore Elizabeth Wong, also from Lowell. Lane 4 is Allison Huang from Washington. Lane 5 is Lowell's Emily Wu. Lane 6, Lincoln's Megan McKay. In lane 7 is Kelsey Chan from Lincoln. And in lane 8 is Aurora Alvarez from Balboa.
Yeah, if we're going off the times, off the paper, as we're looking at it, it looks like Allison Huang and Emily Wu are going to be neck and neck in this race. But don't sleep also on Elizabeth Wong. All 3 of them's time is about 2 seconds apart.
Exactly. You had Huang, who finished with a time of 2:04.09. Wu was at 2:05.95, and then Wong at 2:06.38. All 3 put up very good times in the preliminaries, and it looks like, once again, as we see, all 3 of them are the 3 leading the pack. Looks like right now it's actually head-to-head with Wong and Huang. And it looks like it is... It's Wong who has a slight edge, but they are neck and neck right now, both Elizabeth Wong and Allison Huang.
It's going to be a photo finish the way they're swimming right now.
They are neck and neck, being trailed. They trailed in third place. It looks like right now that is Emily Wu, followed right behind there by McKay, and then also in lane 2, Tan. All right, but it looks like now that Huang has actually opened up maybe a tiny bit more space in between them as they hit the next turn. Here we go. We're going to come down to the finish here, and Huang still has the lead. Can Wu make up the space? And it looks like she's starting to gain a little bit as we hit toward the end here, and it looks like that's going to be Allison Huang who takes the win, followed by Elizabeth Wong, and then Emily Wu. And coming in the far lane 6 is McKay, looks like, followed by Tan in lane 2. And out in lane 7, that's Kelsey Chan, then followed by Adams out in lane 1, and then Alvarez finishing up out in lane 8.
It looks like both swimmers also improved on their times for the year, or actually from yesterday, correction. So it was a good race. Just Allison looked just a little bit stronger there at the end.
All right, Washington gets in the win column for the races. Now we've got the boys 200-yard freestyle varsity. Got 8 races in this one. In lane 1, we have Dylan Tank from Lincoln. Lane 2 is Patrick Hung from Lowell. Lane 3 is Washington's Matthew Tam. Lane 4, Roy Tam from Lincoln. Lane 5 is Joseph Santariano from Washington. Lane 6, Dylan Westover from Lowell. Lane 7 is Galileo Deontay Trailer. And lane 8 is Ian Bistakul from Lowell.
Yeah, and lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6, which is Tam from Washington, Tam from Lincoln, Centario from Washington, and Westover from Lowell, all time are a second apart.
All right, looks
we got
like
3 with 155.
Looks like in lane 5 that's Centuriano, who actually has the early lead right now, followed very closely in lanes 6, 4, and 3. That is in lane 6 adds Westover from Lowell, and then lane 4 is Roy Tam from Lincoln, and lane 3 it's Matthew Tam from Washington. But still, it continues to look like Centuriano is the one pulling away, or has the early lead at this point as he hits the turn.
Yeah, it's Santa Triano. That should be a fun one. He's pulling away so far, but it's interesting because based off the times, it looks like he was evenly matched with a couple, but so far it just seems like he has a strong lead.
He continues to have his lead, and it looks like he's cleared a tiny bit more space over our Lowell swimmer out in lane 6 over Westover, but it looks like Roy Tam from Lincoln is closing the gap just a little bit. Well, we have although Matthew Tam, who's in lane 3, is closing in on Roy Tam in lane 4. And looks like we're going to have Centuriano with the finish. He's going to finish him first. Looked like it was Roy Tam right behind him, with Matthew Tam finishing just after him in third. All right, so we're going to get going pretty quickly in our next one. We have our next race very quickly is the girls 100 inter medley. This is the junior varsity, and in this race we have all 8 lanes going again. In lane 1 we have Lincoln's Esther Chan. Lane 2 is Lowell's Catherine Kwan. Lane 3 is Lowell's Bonnie Yuen. Lane 4, Balboa is Malia Bo. Lane 5 is Hannah Tang from Lowell. Lane 6 is Selena Ung from Washington. Lane 7 is Patricia Tom from Lowell. And in lane 8 is Fiona Dang of Washington. This is only 100 yards, so here we go. We have out in the lead early. It looks like it is Balboa's Malia Bo who has the lead right now. Being followed very. Looks like in second and third, looks like the Lowell swimmers are the ones who are following very closely. It's like Catherine Kwan and then also Hannah Tang are the ones right there. And then also right there with the pack is Bonnie Yuen.
Yeah, right now, the Balboa swimmers just has a really nice solid lead, but don't sleep on this Lowell swimmer here. Looks like it's going to be close. Here we go.
This is Bo's second race of the day already. She was part of that Balboa medley team that won the initial race of the day. As Bo locks in another win right here, and finished with a time of 1:12. It looked like 1:12.11. Besting her preliminary time and taking another first place finish. All right, now I got the boys 100-yard inter medley, the junior varsity. In lane 1, you got Pablo Perez from Mission. In lane 2, you got Brendan Eng from Lowell. In lane 3, Lowell's George Friedland. That was in lane 3. In lane 4, you have Aaron Chow of Lowell. In lane 5, you have Andrew Lay also of Lowell. In lane 6, Kevin Luong of Balboa. In lane 7 is Ethan Chung of Washington. And out in lane 8 is Nathan Lay from Lincoln. And here we go. Early on, it looks like that's out in lane 5. That is Andrew Lay with the early lead. followed by his team out in lane 4. That's Aaron Chow. And then also out in lane 6, the Balboa swimmer Kevin Luong is also trailing very closely.
Looks like the pack of Lowell swimmers are so far so kind of ahead, but the Balboa swimmer there, Kevin Luang, is right there in the race.
Looks like Lay continues to have the lead, but it looks like Chow is starting to close that gap on his teammate. This is going to come down to the end. You got teammates and you got Chow and Lay fighting for first place in this one, and it looks like it's going to be. This is very close. It's 4 and 5. It looks like 1, 2, 3. It looks like very close. It looks like Chow actually came out on top of that. Looks the early times have him just milliseconds ahead of his teammate Andrew Lay, and Chow had to come from behind in that race, which was actually pretty impressive when you saw the early lead.
Yeah, it was a low race. It was both of them were just neck and neck, and there was an impressive lead early, and it just came down to a photo finish, as we love to watch here on these races.
All right, now we're back up to the varsity level. We got the girls 200-yard inter medley. Lane 1 we have Lowell's Heidi Tang. On lane 2 you have Washington's Taylor Liu. Lane 3 is Eliana Smostein from Lincoln. And lane 3 is Amanda Bowie from Lowell. Lane 5 is Lowell's Vivian Nguyen. Lane 6 is Lowell's Amanda Yee. And in lane 7 is Washington's Tulia Yu. Got some updated times and scores to this point. We have Lowell right now leads the girls varsity event to this point. They have 37 points to this stage. And then Lincoln is in second with 22, Balboa with 13, and Washington with 9. And the varsity boys, Lincoln leads with 27 points. Lowell is in second with 22. Following that is Galileo with 17, Washington with 15, and Wallenberg with 10. As we get back to this race, we have once again a cluster of Lowell swimmers who are right there neck and neck with each other. That is out in front. That is Amanda Bowie, followed by Vivian Nguyen and also Amanda Yee, all right there with each other as they hit the third turn. Also trailing them is Lincoln swimmer Elena Smolstein.
Yeah, as you were saying earlier, just these Lowell swimmers, there's a pack of them here. It could be a photo finish again with just another Lowell swimmer. So hopefully Sommerstein has some gas left in the tank for this final.
At the next turn, we still have all three of them still right there with each other, but it looks like right now that it is there in lane 4, I should say. Amanda Bowie still holding on to the lead right now. But out in lane 6, it looks like Yee is actually starting to close that gap. As they're about to hit the final turn, we still have that pack of Lowell swimmers, but it looks like we're going to be down to 2 at this point. Looks like it's going to be Bowie and Yee fighting for this finish, and Bowie still has the lead out here in lane 4. We'll see if she can actually hold on to it. As we come down to the finish, it looks like she will hold on very close. It ended up being a lot closer than I think it looked like at the beginning. And ended up being Bowie with a time of, so we wait for our 2:24.23, which was just milliseconds ahead of Yee. So, like I said, this came down to, again, 2 Lowell swimmers, and it was neck and neck down to the end.
And you can see where the Lowell swim team just in general is strong, because it seems like we've had a couple of races now where it's neck and neck, just Lowell swimmer versus a Lowell swimmer. Just a credit to their program that they're building here.
All right, right now we got the boys varsity 200-yard intermedley, and we got Gordon Huang from Galileo in lane 1, Kyung Lee in lane 2 for Lowell, Marston Lee in lane 3 for Lowell, Jared Vu is in lane 4 for Lincoln, lane 5 is Matthew Kim of Lowell, lane 6 is Jerry Fan of Washington, lane 7 is Brandon Wong of Lowell, and in lane 8 is Washington's Warren Liang. Now, as we talked about in lane 4, this is Jared Vu, and he is well ahead of the pack.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, just Jared Vu is just, it seems like he's on another level. Right now he has, the little swimmer, what are we looking at? Matthew Kim, he's in kind of a distant second right now, but Jared's just opening up a lead.
Jared set the 200 intermedley record just last year at this event at 1:57.21. So this is someone who knows very well what they're doing in this race, and he is right back to work, looking on and setting a very good time to this point. And second there, you have Matthew Kim, who out in lane 5. And then out in lane 6, that is Washington's Jerry Fan. And then we have a pair of Lowell swimmers here in lanes 2 and 3. That is Kyung Lee in lane 2 and Marston Lee in lane 3.
Yeah,
and here we go. Vu is hitting the final turn as he could actually break his own record here. We're at 146, and the record is 157. This is going to be very close if he can actually break his own. Nope. This is going to be not even close. He just broke his own record.
Just amazing. Just amazing. I mean, he's practically resting right now. He could be out of the pool if he wanted to, and the rest of the swimmers still haven't finished yet. It's absolute dominance right now by Vu.
He finished with a time of 1:54.82. Nearly 3 seconds better than his record-setting day last year. Just amazing, and I believe that is already his second first place finish of the day. Oh, the other one being the 200-yard medley relay. All right, and we're going to quickly get up into the next race, the girls' 50-yard freestyle, on the junior varsity level. So this is going to be a very quick race. All right, out in lane 1, you got Galileo's Janice Guan. In lane 2, Balboa's Allison Zito. In lane 3 from Lowell is Ava Hayert. In lane 4 is Katie Au from Galileo. Lane 5 is Balboa's Betty Chen. Lane 6 is Lisa Dechakul from Lowell. Lane 7 is Natalie Louie from Lowell. Lane 8 is Maya Jones, also from Lowell. And
there we go.
This early on, we're coming down to the finish here, and it is going to be, looks like
Galileo.
Katie Au in lane 4 for Galileo with the first place finish. So she finished with a time of 26:85, which is now a city record, as she beats the previous time that was set last year at 27:59. That was Amanda Bowie, who is from Lowell, who's already won the 200-yard varsity intermedley at the varsity level today. And now we're up to the boys freestyle on the JV level. Lincoln's Benjamin Au is in lane 1. We got Omar Mendoza, Galileo lane 2, Horace Guan of Lowell lane 3, Brendan Ng of Lowell lane 4, Eric Chen Washington lane 5, lane 6 is Lincoln's Anthony Chu. As we come down here to the finish, it looks like we have both Ng and Chen right there down to the finish in lanes 4 and 5. And it looks like we have very close one between lane 5 and 3. And it looks like it came down to Eric Chen, who looks like he snuck out the win in the with the preliminary numbers. We'll get an official one after that, but it looked like Chen was able to take that, the freshman from Washington.
Interesting enough, too, he was the only freshman racing in that race, so kudos to him for that win.
There'll be big things to come. Now we have the varsity girls 50-meter freestyle. Lowell's Jessica Weiss in lane 2. From Lowell, Elizabeth Bainbridge in lane 3. Leslie Funk from Lowell in lane 4. Alika Ludkoga in lane 5 for Lowell. Lane 6 is Lincoln's Karen Tan. And then got a finish here. And then that looks like in lane 4, that is Leslie Fung, who took the win.
From Lowell.
Time of 25:10. And also in lane 7 of that race was Sienna Mock Reeder, a senior from Lincoln. Now we're going to get the boys 50-yard freestyle up here. The varsity boys. All right, this one you got Galileo senior Nick Wu in lane 1. Wallenberg's Brian Au in lane 2. Marco Liang of Washington lane 3. Brian Zong in lane 4, Washington. Han Chen in lane 5 for Lowell. Lowell's Kenny Tam, lane 6. Teammate Tennyson Zhu in lane 7. And then their other teammate, Anand Bat Erdene in lane 8.
Look out for, in lane 4, Brian Zong. He was nearly set the city record in the preliminaries. So let's see if he can top that mark today.
He missed it by really a quarter of a second. He was off by 0.25 seconds in the prelims. The record is held by Alden Chen in 2008. He did the 50-yard freestyle in 22.02 seconds. And here we go. We have a furious battle here, and Zong right there in the middle of it. It looks like Zong in lane 4, and then Chen in lane 5. Also close as Liang in lane 3.
It's going to be a photo finish.
And this is very close. And it looks like that was Zong who came away with the win. 22:68. These 50-yarders just come fast and furious. It's tough to get everyone in.
Yeah, it's like practically by the time the race is over, we're already throwing people back in, you know?
All right, next one. This may be a little bit on the slower side, not the freestyle, so moving on back to JV. This is the girls' 50-yard butterfly. And in lane 1, we're going to Ava Hayert from Lowell. Lane 2 is Stephanie Chen of Lowell. Their teammate Bonnie Yun is in lane 3. Lane 4 is Galileo's Katie Au. Lane 5 is Eleanor Amade from Lincoln. Lane 6 is Allison Kwa, also of Lincoln. Lane 7 is Emily Hop Balboa, and then her teammate Flores Young is in lane 8. Looks like getting a little bit of a break here as we.
Well, while we're on a little break, we can update the scores for everyone watching it at home. Lowell 61 for the women's varsity. Lincoln in second place with 27, so they're starting to show their dominance there, the Lowell. For the men's varsity, Lowell again in the lead, followed by Lincoln, 41-36. Washington in a distant third with 22 points. And then the women's JV, Lowell again ahead, 38. Actually, correction, Lowell is tied with Balboa, 38 all right now for women's JV. And for the men's JV, Lowell again ahead, 67-23, just blowing out the competition. So as we talked earlier, partner, Lowell Swimming, it is a very strong team, top to bottom. JV, varsity, women's, men's, it doesn't matter. It just seems like even if they're not winning the race, they have 2 or 3 racers right behind the first place.
That's right. And we've gotten to see that very early on today, like the number of swimmers that they have in every race. It's not even just that they're finishing strong. It's that a lot of these races we're looking at 2, 3, 4, sometimes even more than that number of swimmers in every race for Lowell. And when you have more of them, you have better chances to win these races.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, the more you put into the race, the more points you're going to get eventually. So But it seems like, just in general, Lowell has just showed that they're a strong swimming program.
Now, some of the more impressive people in this this early on, and look at Amelia Bowe out of Balboa was very impressive in her race very early on in the 100-yard intermedley, the JV division, as she's already has 2 first-place finishes. And then also, you can actually take a quick look at Jared Vu, who has dominated both of the races he's already been in today, and both setting city records.
Yeah, I mean, in the last one he raced, the boys' 200-yard intermedley, he is just absolutely, I mean, it's not even, looks like it's about 11 seconds, guys in second place behind him. I mean, it's amazing what we're watching right now from Jared Vu.
And he is definitely someone that is on the map. But right now, let's take a quick break, and we'll and let you know. Play on Sports. This is our second week in a row actually doing San Francisco City Championships, and right now we'll just take you on a quick break, and I'll pass it over to Mike.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you are watching right now? Tell your school to sign up for Play on Sports school broadcast program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
All right, we got another update on some of our scores from the competition at this point. We have the girls varsity. We have Lowell leading now. They have 86 points. They're in first place. Lincoln in a very distant second with 37, and then Balboa and Washington are tied with 13. Now, on the boys' side of the varsity, we have Lowell up with 60 points in first place. Lincoln with 36, and they are tied with Washington in second place. Galileo is in fourth right at the moment with 20. Wallenberg in fifth with 12. Down on the JV level, Lowell is up on the girls' side with 55 points. Balboa very close behind with 47. Galileo 30, Lincoln 24, Washington with 17, and Mission rounding it out with 6. And then back on the boys' JV side, Lowell with a commanding lead with 83 points. Galileo at 26, Washington 24, Lincoln with 22. And it looks like we're going to get back to action here as we have. So again, this is the girls 50-yard butterfly, the JV division. And again, we have Hayert from Lowell in lane 1. It's Chen from Lowell in lane 2. Yuen in lane 3. Ao in lane 4. Amadei in lane 5. Kwa in lane 6. Hop in lane 7. And Yueng in lane 8. Very early on the other side, out from Galileo has the early lead, being trailed very closely by Amadei and Kwa. Amadei is out in lane 5. The junior out of Lincoln, and she is neck and neck with Al right now as Al just tries to hold on to this lead, and it's going to come down to the end. And let's see it. This is very close.
Looks like Al got it.
By fractions of a second, and it looks like the preliminary time has her beating out Eleanor Amadei by 0.12 seconds.
I believe it also, no, not quite the city record, almost.
That's another win for Katie Al. That's, I believe, her second of the day. And now we're going to get the boys up here. It's going to be the junior varsity boys 50-yard butterfly. And lane 1, you have Lowell's Justin Lee. Lane 2 is Donald Kwan of Lincoln. Lane 3 is Naeem Chisholm from Balboa. And lane 4 is Lawrence Tam out of Lowell. Lane 5, Aaron Yang of Balboa. Lane 6 is Pablo Perez from Mission. Lane 7 is Julian Greeno from Lowell. And lane 8 is Kyle Munoz of Galileo. And early on, it looks like Lawrence Tam has the lead, being followed very closely by Aaron Yang out in lane 5, and then Naeem Chisholm in lane 3. Also, actually, very closely is Pablo Perez out in lane 6. And coming down the line, it looks like this is going to be Tam, followed by Yang out in lane 5, and then looks like Chisholm in lane 3, and then Perez in lane 6.
That would be correct, partner. It looks like you got it. We don't, I mean, who needs clocks, while we have our eyesight? Not sure what there we go. Wasn't sure what the holdup was at first, but it's like all those races are out.
All right, so now we're moving on to the varsity. This is the girls' 100-yard butterfly. In lane 2, this is going to be Ingrid Adams out of Lowell. Lane 3 is Michelle Kwang, also from Lowell. Their teammate Caitlin Luang in lane 4. In lane 5, this is Allison Huang out of Washington. Lowell swimmer in lane 6 is Vivian Nguyen. And lane 7 is Emily Gong out of Lincoln. A little bit of a delay here. All right, and they're off. Very quickly, we have a pack right here. This is in lane 4. That is Caitlin Luang, and then followed very closely in lane 5 is Allison Huang.
Looks like we're also, by the way, back to 100 yards. So the marathon again.
Luang is spacing out her lead right now. The senior had a time of 1 minute 33 in the preliminaries, and she had the best time of the group by more than 2 seconds. And here she goes. And Luang has opened up a sizable lead, followed by Huang in lane 5, and then in lane 3 that is Michelle Kwang, and then way out in lane 6 that's Vivian Nguyen. And the last 2 swimmers coming in, that's going to be Ingrid Adams and then Emily Gong. And Luang took that race. She finished with a time of 1 minute 55. Minute even with 50.55, I should say.
And as we look at the boys JV here, look who set the record there for the boys. Our telecast, as you've been listening to us, of course, it's Jared Vu that we are referencing here. He said it earlier this year.
He said it just yesterday.
Oh, hey, look at that.
So this is the boys' 100-yard butterfly. Jared Vu from Lincoln is in lane 4. Quang Lee in lane 1 out from Lowell. Deontay Traylor in lane 2. Matthew Tam in lane 3. Brendan McKay lane 5. Roy Tam lane 6. John Liu in lane 7. Iam Ishtankul in lane 8. And Vu immediately has opened up a sizable lead. Being followed by McKay from Lowell, and then also it looks like in lane 3 that's Matthew Tam.
Vu again is just dominating the competition. But
out there in lane 6 is Roy Tam, who's also turning this, but Vu has already made his final turn, is heading down the stretch.
Vu might be closing in on another record.
And Vu finishes with a time of 51.28. just a couple seconds short of his own record. Hey, but he's already broken a couple records today. I guess we can give him a pass.
Looks like his teammate also finished second there in the race here. That would be, I believe, Roy Tam finished second.
Just an amazing display we're seeing every time Voos jumps into the pool, I should say.
And also, it doesn't matter what the style is. He's just blowing out the competition. Like, there's no one that's been really even close to him. Usually he's finished and practically out of the pool, and everyone else is still making their final turn. So, very impressive. So
his third win of the day. Now we're going to move on. It's the JV the JV girls 100-yard freestyle. You got Jacqueline Louie in lane 1 from Balboa. Maya Jones in lane 2 from Lowell. Eleanor Amade, lane 3 of Lincoln. Greer Williams in lane 4 from Lowell. Balboa's Allison Zito, lane 5. Galileo's Danielle Munoz, lane 6. Washington's Selena Ung in lane 7. And Winnie Chen from Lincoln in lane 8.
Here we go.
And they're off. And in the prelims, the best time from this was Greer Williams from Lowell. She's in lane 4. And she is right there neck and neck. She does not have any sort of a lead. This is with Eleanor Amade from Lincoln. She is right there with her.
Also look out for Galileo swimmer there in lane
6. That's Danielle Munoz out there. And she is also very much in this race. Looks like Williams continues to hold her lead and actually has stretched it out just a tiny bit over Amade, who's in lane 3. Out in lane 5 is Cito from Balboa, who's also right there with that group. As we hit the stretch here, we got Williams, who's starting to pull away from both Amade and Zito. And out in lane 6, Munoz is she might overtake Zito in lane 5. It's going to be very close for second place. Williams is going to take the win at first. And in second place, looks like we're going to have... This is all very close. Looks like that is going to be...
Lane 6.
Lane 6. That is Danielle Munoz, who really came on strong there at the end to get the win. Or to get in the second, I should say.
Look like fractions of a second between second, third, and fourth. So real close race there. Now we're back on to, looks like the boys.
This is the junior varsity boys 100-yard freestyle. And this is going to be Lincoln's Benjamin Allen, lane 1. Lowell's Bruce Kwan, lane 2. Andrew Lay from Lowell, lane 3. And Nolan Dang in lane 4. Washington's Eric Chen, lane 5. Kevin Wong from Balboa, lane 6. Nathan Lee, lane 7 from Lincoln. And Eric Chung in lane 8 out of Washington.
And Nolan's already won once today, but it looks like from the trial runs yesterday that he had the top time. So we'll see.
Andrew Lay is the one who has the early lead right now as he makes the turn. And it looks like he is quickly trailed by his teammate there in lane 2. That is Bruce Kwan. But out in lane 5, it looks like Washington's Eric Chen is also starting to close the gap. Now, as they hit this stretch run, it looks like Lay is going to hold on to this one. Now battle for second. I think it looks like it's going to be either Dang or Chen out of lanes 4 and 5. And that is very close as Lay takes the win in lane 3. And looks like that is going to be Dang, I believe, who finishes in second.
Yes, correct. It looks like Dang.
Dang in second, and then that is going to be Eric Chen, who finishes in third. So again, Lowell has the top 2 swimmers in that race, both Lay and Dang. As we move into We're more than halfway in now. We're at race 23. This is now the varsity 100-yard freestyle. The girls. Sarah Tran in lane 1. You got Jessica Weiss in lane 2 from Lowell. Lincoln's Karen Tan lane 3. Leslie Fung in lane 4 out of Lowell. Teammate Sharita Lee is in lane 5. Their other teammate Elizabeth Bainbridge lane 6. Shannon Doe in lane 7 from Lincoln. And in lane 8, that is Lincoln's Sienna Mock-Reeder.
Looks like Leslie Fong early on has a pretty sizable lead. As the other swimmers are making a turn, but she's followed real closely by her teammate there, Sharita Lee. So we'll see. We'll see if it holds up.
Once again, we're down to 2 Lowell swimmers for here at the end. We got Fung and Lee. Fung is in lane 4 and Lee is in lane 5. Looks like this is going to be Fung who takes the win, and it's going to be Lee in second. We're either going to. And in third, looks like that's going to be Bainbridge out in lane 6, I should say. And in lane 3, it looked like Karen Tan came in fourth.
So again, Lowell just cleaning house yet again. But looking at some of these races, it seems like it's Lowell and Lincoln are just throwing as many bodies into the race as possible.
All right, as the girls jump out, we're going to get the boys varsity 100-yard freestyle. All right, in lane 1, we have Anand Erdene from Lowell, Brandon Chu from Lowell in lane 2, Marco Liang lane 3, Jordan Vu is in lane 4, Han Chen lane 5, Dylan Tang lane 6, lane 7 is Kenny Lamb, and lane 8 is Nick Wu. Now, early on in lane 4, we have Jordan Vu, who has a very small lead over Lowell's Han Chen, who's in lane 5. And then you have in lane 3, that is Marco Liang, and all 3 of them are just right there in the same pack with each other.
It looks like Chen's got the slight lead on Vu, but then we make the turn, and it looks like Vu's got it back. So this is going to be a photo finish.
The freshman
right
Vu is right there neck and neck with Chen, and this is going to be really close. And it looks like Chen.
I think it's Vu. We can't see right now. Lane 4, it's Vu.
49.75 for Chen.
And
49.59 for Vu. Vu pulls out the win.
Just by a fingertip, it looks like.
Incredibly close. What makes maybe the win for Vu more impressive is if you actually take a look. Vu is a freshman in this varsity race, and he beat a senior in this one.
Very impressive.
Chen.
I don't think Chen's going to want to know that. Very impressive, though. Very impressive race. Both racers, just from start to finish, were just neck and neck with each other.
That is Vu's second win of Jordan Vu, I should say. His second win of the day, going along with the medley relay early on. And this is a freshman in these varsity races, and this is a very good sign for the Lincoln program, knowing that you're going to have this kid for a few more years.
Well, now we're on to the marathon, if you will, the 500-yard JV.
This is the JV girls 500-yard freestyle, and yes, this is the marathon. All right, in Lowell, we have Jocelyn Lee in lane 1 from Lowell. Lauren Hale is in lane 2 from Balboa. Washington's Waki Gojo is in lane 3. Malia Bowe from Balboa, lane 4. Greer Williams is in lane 5 for Lowell. Lane 6 out of Balboa is Rossian McLaughlin. Lane 7 is Patricia Tom out of Lowell. And in lane 8 is Hannah Kreisman from Lincoln.
So far, it looks like it's in 3 and 4, which is Balboa's Gojo and Bowe from Bo from Balboa and Williams from Lowell look like it's neck and neck between those two, with Bo starting to open up a little bit of a lead. Still anybody's race. Still have a lot of time left in this one.
Balboa's swimmer, that is Malia Bo, well out in front here very early on. And she's already won a couple races today, so it's no surprise that she's once again right there out in front.
Yeah, and looking at the preliminaries, both these racers, funny enough, are the two racers' times that were closely matched to each other. Everyone else was kind of in a distant third and fourth and fifth place. And Bo and Williams, they're just neck and neck with each other on this, with Bo coming out yesterday with a 6:46 time, beating Williams 6:51. That
was Bo's preliminary time from yesterday. The league record is 6:29.06 that was set last year by Stephanie Chen. We are 2:07 into this race as Bo hits the turn. Followed closely there by Lowell's Greer Williams.
It's like Bo's starting to open up a lead a little bit. She is starting to open it up. Sizable lead. Williams seems to be going strong, but just is starting to fall behind a little bit more and more.
Obviously, this is more of a race where there's a little bit more strategy in a race like this. I mean, if you were trying to do a 500-yard swim, or do you try to I think the strategy is you try to save yourself a little bit for the end so that you have that energy for the stretch run, or how would you go about doing something like this?
Well, it kind of reminds me of some track and field events. Like, you watch some of them, it's just like the swim here. You got to keep some in the tank, but at the same time, you can't coast too much. Because if you coast too much, you'll fall behind, and maybe you won't have that last burst of energy won't do you any good. But at the same time, it's like you got to still leave some left in the tank for that final lap to just burn it all out and get out to the final finish line. So, it seems like whatever Bo's doing is working as she's opening up her lead, and it seems like she's keeping a constant pace. There's not really a let off. There's not really a different change of direction. It just seems like it's one speed and she's going through it. Now the other racers, they're still, they're hanging in there, but it just looks like the only one that's going to give her any competition, Bo we're speaking of, is Williams. So let's see if Williams has that last burst of energy to give it a real push.
We're here at the Aquatic Center at City College of San Francisco in San Francisco, California. This is the San Francisco Section Boys and Girls Swim Championships on PlayOnSports.com. This is the 25th race of the day. This is the Junior Varsity Girls 500-yard freestyle. Once again, you have Jocelyn Lee in lane 1. You have Lauren Hale, lane 2. Waki Gojo in lane 3 from Washington. Malia Bo from Balboa is in lane 4. Greer Williams in lane 5 from Lowell. Lane 6 is Rossi and McLaughlin from Balboa. Lane 6 is Patricia Tom, lane 7. And in lane 8 is Hannah Kreisman.
As we said earlier in the broadcast, Bo is still just turning away. Williams is hot on her heels, but it's Bo right now.
The Balboa Junior Varsity team has done fairly well to this stage in the event. They are actually sitting in second place in the point totals to this point. They have 58 points at this stage. Lowell is in first with 81. But this is definitely a race where if Bo can actually get another win, maybe they start to climb back into that, at least get a little bit closer in the point totals. You also have Galileo sitting at 46 In third place, Lincoln at 42, Washington with 20, and Mission with 6. On the varsity girls, Lowell in a commanding lead with 136. Lincoln with 50. Washington in third with 20 points, and Balboa in fourth with 14. On the boys' varsity side, you have Lowell with 85, Lincoln with 66. Washington trails very closely with 62, Galileo with 23, and Wallenberg with 10. On the JV boys side, Lowell with a commanding lead. They have 118 points at this point. Balboa in second with 33, Lincoln with 31. Washington tied with Lincoln as well with 31, Galileo at 27, and Mission with 13.
It looks like Bo's just going to pull away here. It's not even going to be close. Though Williams is starting to, as we talked earlier, Williams is starting to make some headway.
Bo finishes there. The time is 6:48. 6:48. 8:78. It looks like, and she coasted to that win, as you had Greer Williams to follow, and then Gojo from Washington, the freshman from Washington, to follow. And after this one, we're going to have the junior varsity boys 500-yard freestyle. The record for that race was also set a year ago. That was a time of 6:12:40. That was set by Kevin Sun. We are 25 races down here in this 42 race event here on the City College of San Francisco. And we've seen some great team performances and great individual performances to this point as the boys start to line up here. And we've actually got even a pretty good crowd on hand to watch this one.
Yeah, really impressive crowd here. For the folks who don't see it at home, I mean, practically the pool is packed. I don't think it's standing room only right now. You even have some people looking from above in some of the windows over here, looking down almost in the skybox, if you will. Nosebleed section there, but it's just very impressive showing for the swimming event, and good to see the family and friends of these swimmers come out and support their athletes.
And it wasn't the only event in the building either. Apparently across the hall there was a basketball tournament of sorts. You saw a lot of club teams and of that sort across the hall getting ready for their events on the day. We're here where it's nice and warm in the pool, and we're off with the junior varsity boys 500-yard freestyle. It's Andrew Tang in lane 1 from Lincoln, Donald Kwan in lane 2, also from Lincoln, Brian Wan in lane 3 from Galileo. The trio of Lowell swimmers, you got Hanson Dang in lane 4, William Wong in lane 5, Alan Chen in lane 6, Kobe Tahir in lane 7 from Lincoln, and then in lane 8 is Jackson Little from Balboa.
So far, it just looks like we got Lowell swimmers, and the far lane are Balboa.
That is
lone Balboa rep, Little, hanging in there, but it just looks like here we go again. You know, we got 3 Lowell swimmers leading the pack, and then it's the rest of the competition. So
it's lanes 6. That's lanes 4, 5, and 6. That is Dang, Wong, and Chen, all there grouped together. Dang is the one who had the best preliminary or the best seeding time at 7:01.96. The sophomore led that pack, even over his freshman teammate Wong, and then his senior teammate Chen. Right now, all of them are kind of neck and neck, and even early on here, though, it looks like it is the senior who is taking the early lead.
A lot of race left in this one. But they're coming up on lap 7, so
All right, once again, we're here at the San Francisco section Boys and Girls Swimming Championships right here at the Aquatic Center at City College of San Francisco. You're watching this on playonsports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Play on Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights as what you're watching. Follow us on Play on Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live events and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/playonnetwork. Keep up with all high school activities and action every week from your destination for high school sports, playonsports.com.
Right now, looks like, once again, still in lane 6. That is Alan Chen, who has the lead over his teammate in lane 4. That is in lane 4. That is Hanson Dang, who had the best preliminary time. And we're still a little away from the finish of this one, but it looks like that the Lowell swimmers right there in the middle in lanes 4, 5, and 6 are pacing themselves very well and are in very good position to come away with another win and possibly another first, second, and third place finish. We got full house on hand. It looks to be about a few hundred people are packed into the seats here at the Aquatic Center at City College of San Francisco. The seating is fairly limited in here, but
yeah, as we said earlier, it's been a packed event, so it looks like a great crowd on hand.
I mean, I've been to a couple of these swim meets and events, and the one thing I've always found is that these places can get really humid really quickly, and they've actually done a pretty good job of making sure that the facility is fairly ventilated well. It's not sticky or nasty in here like some other pools could be.
Also, if you notice, I'm looking at the card holders here. What's something that I've noticed here is if they're going up and down, holding their signs, it means to slow down. But if they go side to side, it means speed up. So it's interesting to see what they're telling their racers and swimmers here. So right now, I would imagine if you're on number 13 while everyone's on 17, probably a little side to side a little bit more. So we'll see.
We shall see. It looks actually now that in lane 4 it is Hanson Dang who's actually started to pull away from his teammate Alan Chen, who's in lane 6. And earlier on we saw it was almost flipped, that Chen was in the lead and Dang was the one trailing. But now it looks like Dang, true to the preliminary, true to his seating time, is starting to take that lead.
And if you're wondering where that shaking is, it's actually the Lowell coach, I believe Lowell coach here, with the cowbell. So no, this is not Will Ferrell. We don't need no more cowbells, but that is what you are hearing right now in your while watching this.
All right, now it's Dang on his final lap as he is going to pull away with this one. He's going to take the win here. It looks like he is followed very closely by his teammate Alan Chen. And then in lane 5, it looks like it's going to be William Wong, who's just hit his final lap.
Yeah, again, it's just the Lowell swimmers. They're just waiting for everybody else.
And here we go, right down to the finish. And
Another Lowell swimmer.
All right, that is Wong who finishes it in third. So that was Dang in first. Chen finishes in second, and Wong in third. Lowell sweeps the top 3 spots in this race. And as we wait for the remainder of these, Lowell is continually adding on, especially in the junior varsity boys division. They are piling on to their already sizable lead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now, before these events, our last update on the standings, it was 118 Lowell to the next competition, which was Balboa at 33 points. And so far, it's been pure dominance. I mean, it just seems like every event we look here on the JV level especially, there's about 3 or 4 Lowell swimmers, and then there's maybe 1 or 2, and that's not even mentioning the rest of the schools that don't even throw a swimmer into these events. So it's just, Lowell is just, it's pulling away here in the JV level.
And the boys' side they've won every one of these championships since most of these kids can even probably remember. If you go back and look at the boys' JV history, it's been a long.
It's been Lowell.
It's been a lot of Lowell, but actually the last 5 years in the boys' JV division, Lincoln has been the dominant school. So this is actually going to be, if everything holds up, and it looks like it likely will, this will be Lowell's first JV boys championship since 2007. So it actually is a bit of a turnaround for the JV program.
It's definitely, and it's credit to what the Lowell coaching staff is doing here. And that is Jonathan Riley. Credit to him and his staff for getting them ready. And just on every level, because it just seems like just Lowell on every level has just been dominant in the swimming events. Unless there's some guy named Vu in the pool with them, then all bets are off. But
all right, so now we hit race number 27. This is the varsity girls 500-yard freestyle. And we have in lane 2, that's Colette Appello from Washington. Then the teammates in lanes 3, 4, and 5 from Lowell. Sally Tan in lane 3. Emily Wu in lane 4. Elizabeth Wong in lane 5. Kelsey Chan in lane 6 from Lincoln. And Amanda Lee in lane 7, also from Lincoln.
Yeah, as we said earlier, it's just Lowell and 2 more swimmers from Lincoln. But I think this is where they're getting a lot of their points. I mean, no fault to them, if you don't show up to the event, you can't beat the team. But Lowell, because they have so many swimmers at so many different events, they can continue to put these swimmers out here and win. But to their credit, they're also dominating the competition. It's not like they're, out of these 5 swimmers we see, all 3 of the Lowell swimmers are in last place and just are getting thrown into the pool just to throw them in. They're clearly head and shoulders above most of the competition. Like right now, if you're looking at it at home, it looks like we got Lowell in first, second, and right now battling for third place.
That is Emily Wu in lane 4 and Elizabeth Wong in lane 5 who have the lead at the moment. And then, as my partner said, you have in lane 2, that is Sally Tan, and then out in lane 6, Kelsey Chan. They're the 2 battling for third place at the moment.
It's sure impressiveness. I mean, this is a sizable gap. I understand this is still early on in the race, but it's Lowell battling Lowell right now, and that's what it's been kind of the theme of the day on the JV level.
And like we said, Lowell won 3 of the 4 swim championships this year during the regular meets. They took the boys varsity, the girls varsity, and the boys JV this season, sweeping all the seasons with 6-0 records. The only one they did not take was actually the girls JV, which was taken by Balboa, and they were the perfect 6-0. And we've gotten to see some of those Balboa swimmers. You think about Malia Bowe, who we've seen perform very, very well so far today, who's won, I believe it's 2 or 3 races to the stage. And you can see that Balboa has some very good swimmers coming.
Yeah, definitely. And it's good for programs. I mean, JV, it's a great indication to see, what the future holds. And so far for Balboa women, it shows, hey, they're ready to meet the challenge of Lowell and take them on, head on. Still on this race. It seems like the Energizer Bunny, keeps going and going and going.
This will be, it looks like this is going to be the last of our, this is going to be our second to last of the 500-yard races. We're going to be getting back to the 200-yard race relays just after the final 500-yard freestyle, which is the boys, which is coming up. And this is going to be the next wave is going to be the varsity freestyle relays, and you're going to see some very good teams in these. And it's going to be some very fast-paced competition in those races.
Yeah, and I'm looking at what's coming up. I mean, we got, the Vu brothers. I don't know if they're related, but, almost like a play on the Blue brothers. We have them coming up. They've been very dominant so far here for Lincoln. And there looks like we got a little more of the we got the 50 yards again with the backstroke and some of the 200s. So we got a couple of more, some freestyle relays. So keep tuning in with us. We got a lot more action coming your way.
As we hit the final lap here.
More cowbell. Can't beat that.
This final lap, that was the final lap. That is in lane 5. That is Elizabeth Wong. As she hits the final turn. And she is going to run away with this one. And hitting her final lap is her teammate there in lane 4. That's Emily Wu.
It looks like the Lowell swimmers are all done. Well, no, there's one more still going.
And in lane, so that was Emily Wong in lane 5 who completed hers at 5:31. As she bests her seeding time actually by almost 10 seconds. So a very impressive performance for Wong there, the sophomore out of Lowell.
It also looked like actually I noticed one of the Lincoln swimmers finished. So they took 3rd place in this event, and that would be Kelsey Chan. She finished there in 3rd place, followed by a little bit later, followed by looks like Sally Tan. In lane 3. And finishing up the race right now is Amanda Lee from Lincoln. And she'll be done here in
have the
matter of seconds.
Have the boys varsity starting to line up on the side over there as they get ready for their 500-yard freestyle race.
It just makes me wonder, do you get antsy for these type of events, or do you have to stay loose? It seems like the Lowell swimmers, they're very loose over there. These boys coming in for the boys 500 freestyle, they seem very relaxed and calm. There's not a lot of, too amped up. The Washington swimmer here looks a little more amped up for it. But the Lowell swimmers, they just seem so relaxed. It just seems like another day of practice for them. The way they just their body language showing.
We got a. All right, so now we have the boys 500-yard freestyle. It's going to be Lowell's Brian Chan in lane 1, Lincoln's Eric Dang in lane 2. In lane 3 is Kevin Lamb from Lowell, Patrick Huang in lane 4 from Lowell, Jerry Fan in lane 5 from Washington, and lane 6 that is Lowell's Austin Van. In lane 7 is Lincoln's Jonathan Nguyen, and then in lane 8 is Winston Lai from Lincoln.
All right, so far it seems like they're going with the opposite strategy of the girls. So they're just trying to burn off as much as quickly as possible. It doesn't seem like they're really holding anything in the tank. It just seems like they're going hard and heavy right now.
We got right now in the lead, it looks like we have, that's in lane 2. Eric Dang looks like he has the early lead, and in second looks like Jerry Fan out there in lane 5 for Washington. Followed very closely by a trio of Lowell swimmers out there in lane 6. That is Austin Van, and then in lane 3, Kevin Lamb, and lane 4, Patrick Nguyen.
As we're watching it, actually, I'm noticing in lane 2, the Lincoln swimmer's goggles are actually around his nose right now, and now he's wearing it like a mustache. So probably not the easiest way to do one of these long laps and long races.
We'll see if that actually affects him in the long run, because you're right, this has happened so early in the race, and it's not like he can actually stop and readjust those things. So with his goggles down actually near his mouth now, he's got to actually be, we're going to see how that affects his vision in the pool, because that, as he makes these turns, it could actually really affect him.
Yeah, right now he was at third, and he's starting to kind of fall behind a little bit more and more. I'm sure it also doesn't help that he probably can't see some of the signs that his teammates are giving to him at the end of the pool here. So it might play a factor. He's already starting to kind of fall behind a little bit.
Looks like it's out there. It's Fan in lane 5 who's started to take advantage of that as he has taken the lead, and he's trailed very closely by Kevin Huang in lane 4, and then Austin Van in lane 6. And sharing them very closely is Kevin Lamb in lane 3. But it does look like that Fan out in lane 5 from Washington is starting to at least clear some space a bit.
Yeah, but in lane 4 from Lowell, there's he's right on the heels there. Jordan Vu. Oh, no, correction, not Jordan Vu. I'm looking. Patrick Hun is right on his heels. Definitely a marathon-like race. I mean, they're still going and going and going.
Fan continues to hold on to his lead, and almost looks like he's got near almost a full body length of space in between him and Juan right now.
As we are still in this race, coming up next, by the way, will be the girls 200 freestyle relay on the varsity level. And actually, it looks like we have a team that might be trying to top the record of their former schoolmates. The Lowell team has a few, actually, I'm looking at it. It looks like they have a couple of the same swimmers that won that meet last year, so it should be interesting to see how they do and see if they can top that record.
Definitely sure, though, those swimmers are definitely going to be looking at that record and saying, oh, we could do better than last year.
You know, might as well set a section record. You know, just a normal Saturday here in the city, setting school and section records.
In fact, that's 3 of the 4 swimmers, it looks like. Caitlin Loing, Alika, Lu Koga, and then Leslie Fung, all on that Lowell relay team that set the record a year ago.
So it looks like the pressure might be on Emily Wu to hold up that end of the relay.
All right, and we got our last lap, and it's still Jerry Fan in lane 5 who is out in front as he hits his final turn. And we're going to get Patrick Kwon, he hits his final turn. And now it's Fan who is just pulling away from this, and he is going to get the win for Washington. And that is Han who comes in second. And third place looks like that's going to be out in lane 6, and then a fourth out in lane 3. So in lane 6, that was Austin Van, and in lane 3, that is Kevin Lamb. And Fan.
Yeah, Fan from Washington looks like, well, he took the race, but then it was just followed by a trio of Lowell swimmers, and now we got a Lincoln in lane 6. Winston Lee just finished his, or no, not Winston Lee. Jonathan Nguyen just finished his lap.
Fan finished with a time of 5:16.96, which was more than 10 seconds better than his seeding time. So he came to show here at the finals, and he once again gives Washington the win. And the sophomore Fan definitely is going to probably use this to move forward, and we may see better times, and maybe, hey, that league record in San Francisco, in the heart of San Francisco, California. And we are coming up to the varsity girls 200-yard freestyle relay. And the 14, this is going to be a 4-team race. It's going to be Lincoln, Lowell, Washington, and Balboa.
And as we talked about earlier, the Lowell team returning 3 of the 4 swimmers that set the section record. So they look to be the favorite. They're clocked right now at a 1:43, which is 2 seconds behind the section record. So it'll be interesting to see if they could top that record. And the whole team would be the odds-on favorite, and they'll be coming up in lane 4 here in a little bit.
It looks like they're just we're getting reset over there on the sidelines. Once again,
.com/SBP.
And it looks 23 and Wallenberg with 10. On the junior varsity level, the girls, Lowell with 94 points, Balboa with 75, Galileo 46, Lincoln 43, Washington 26, and then Mission with 6. And then on the boys' side, Lowell with the commanding 140 points, Lincoln with 40 in second place, Balboa 36, Washington 31, Galileo 29, and Mission with 13.
I mean, it amazes me because it looks like the women's junior varsity on Lowell is the only team that hasn't been in triple figures yet. The other 3 are in commanding leads. The boys' men's varsity, Lincoln still has a chance now. I mean, we still got Jordan Vu coming up in, I believe, a couple of more events, and Jared Vu. So, I mean, there's still a chance Lincoln might catch up to Lowell's varsity men's, but right now it's just been
Taylor Liu and Allison Huang. In lane 6 is the Balboa team, Sarah Tran, Aurora Alvarez, Caitlin Chewy, and Jacqueline Louie. And as we get set for this, again, the Lowell team brings back 3 of the 4 relay team members that broke the section record just a year ago. That time was 1:41.76. All the 3 that were on that team, Lu Koga, and Fung, all return. It is Emily Wu, the new. And second place looks to be the Washington team with Apello in the water, and then followed by Balboa.
We're on our 3rd swimmer in the water now for Lowell, and it's just dominating right now. They're hitting a good pace, but there's no swimmers even near them right now.
Washington is in second, followed by Lincoln and then Balboa. Lowell is about 4 body lengths ahead of the next swimmer, which is Washington's Taylor Liu. And now Lowell's on their final leg of this race as we have hit the 125 mark.
Now it's to see. The only drama left in it is to see if Lowell can top their record.
136 here. It's going to be close. And I'm going to come up just short of breaking the record, but still a very impressive time for the Lowell team as they finish at 1:43.55. Just actually about their seeding time.
I mean, as we said earlier, it's just the stats look like they're lining up with what everything's going on right now.
And as we get all of our finishes, it looks like that is Washington who comes in second, and Lincoln in third, and Balboa finishes in fourth. And now we're going to get the boys' varsity 200-yard freestyle relay teams up. We're going to have Lincoln in lane 2 with Winston Lee, Nick Kim, Jason Lee, and Eric Dang. You're going to have in lane 3 is Galileo with Josh Heitzman, Deontay Traylor, Nick Wu, and Joshua Liu. Lane 4 is the Washington team with Marco Lee. Right there along with them is the Galileo team in lane 3. That is Josh Heitzman, the opening swimmer for them. Marco Lee for Washington and Brandon Chu for Lowell. And all 3 are almost simultaneously off the board and in with their second swimmers.
Looks like Lowell opened up a slight lead, but Washington right there on their tails in terms of the teams.
And Lowell has opened up a little bit of a lead. That is Martin Lee, followed by Joseph Santariano. And Galileo trailing the group in third, and here we go.
Oh, man, this is impressive.
This is coming down to the wire as we hit the third leg. Both Washington and Lowell are right there with each other. That is Tam and Kim.
Tam just really made up whatever was the difference in that Lowell lead with that lap there.
Now we're down to the final races, and it looks like Washington is now slightly ahead. And that last swimmer for Washington is Brian Zong. Lowell's last swimmer is Han Chen. As we are going to get down to the wire here for Washington with the lead.
Up and just completely ended that lead, and it was neck and neck going into that fourth and final lap, and then Washington just pulled away.
1:32.33 was Washington's time. So they beat their seeding time from yesterday. And also, not just that, they narrowly beat out Lowell, and it was by a half a second. So that's just a matter of arm length or anything else. They narrowly got out the win, but Washington back into the win column with a first place finish.
They also came up just shy of the section record at 132.11. So very close. Great race and great relay there by the Washington team. Looks like the officials are...
We're going to be actually hitting a little bit of a break as I talk to them. So we'll be right back with the San Francisco Section Girls and Boys Swimming Championships here on PlayOnSports.com. your destination for high school sports. All right, we are back at the San Francisco section boys and girls swimming championships here on playonsports.com. And right now we are going to be hitting the junior varsity girls 50-yard backstroke. This is the 31st race of the day. And the swimmers now, you're going to have Tiffany again. As she gets there, and this is going to be very close. She may have done it again.
Looks like she just missed it. She got 32.58 today.
32.58 for Chen as she wins the race and comes up just short of her own record that she set yesterday.
It was really impressive by Chen. She just right away just really dominated that round there. Next up is the men 50-yard backstroke.
All right, this is the JV backstroke for the boys, the 50 yards. This is Brandon Lamb in lane 1 for Lincoln. You have Mission Salem Buhaswan in lane 2. Naeem Chisholm of Balboa lane 3. Lowell's William Wong lane 4. Also from Lowell, Jacob Wong in lane 5. Justin Lee, sophomore from Lowell in lane 6. Mission's Alfred Lin Jin Long in lane 7. And then Lincoln's Andrew Tang in lane 8.
Not quite sure what the holdup is right now, but I'm sure they'll be settled here in a minute.
Having a slight delay over what is going on right now. And all right, looks like we're going to get going now.
There we go.
And coming in first, Jacob Wong in second. Looked like Chisholm in third. And yes, that is the order.
Very close race there. It seemed like, again, here's
McKay from Lincoln. Lane 4, Alika Lukoga from Lowell. Lane 5 is Sharita Lee from Lowell. Lane. Then after the turn, it's still, that is Lukoga who keeps her lead, and it is Lee who is right behind her, as they have now actually created a larger gap between them and third. And as they jump out the pool, the boys' 100-yard backstroke participants are ready. This is the varsity, and this record was set just just yesterday, and that was set by Jordan Vu, who set the record at 54.44 seconds. So, and he is going to be in lane 4, the freshman out of Lincoln. In lane 1 is Jonathan Nguyen from Lincoln. In lane 2 is Austin Van of Lowell. His teammate Matthew Kim in lane 3. Vu is in lane 4. Joseph Santuriano in lane 5 out of Washington. Lowell freshman Brandon Chu in lane 6. Brandon Wong is in lane 7. Josh Heitzman, Galileo is in lane 8. And it is Vu again who is out to the very early lead, followed by Santuriano from Washington out of lane 5.
Yeah, it's impressive me is just, it seems like every Vu that comes out for Lincoln has been just dominating the competition here. Now this race is actually really close so far, but it just seems like Jordan's just kind of, all these turns, he's just pulling away just a little bit more, and it looks like he's going to coast to a win here.
Looks like he's going to get the win. Now is he going to break his own record? The 2 juniors, 2 seniors, and it looks like, he's one of the few underclassmen in this race. And it's just incredibly impressive to see what he's done so far today.
I would have hated to see what his JV races look like, if this is the case on the varsity level.
All right, now this is the 50-yard girls junior varsity breaststroke. It is Michelle Chen in lane 1, Lincoln's Melody Chung in lane 2, Lowell's Lisa Detchakul in lane 3, Flores Young from Balboa in lane 4, Catherine Kwan in lane 5 from Lowell, teammate Laura Zadorian in lane 6, Emily Hop lane 7, Alexandra Gunn in lane 8. And early on, it looks like that is in lane 3. That is Deshakul, who it has the lead, but quickly gaining is Young from Balboa, and then also Kwan, her little teammate in lane 5. And now we have the junior varsity boys 50-yard breaststroke. In lane 1, you got Kyle Ma. In lane 2, you have Washington's Ethan Chung. In lane 3 is Jacob Wong from Lowell as we start the slew of Lowell swimmers. Bruce Kwan in lane 4. In lane 5 is Hanson Dang. In lane 6, George Friedland, all from Lowell. Mission senior Matthew Yee in lane 7. And Elton Wu from Lincoln in lane 8. And very early, looks like the lead takes it, followed by the slew of his Lowell teammates. Has been the recipe all day, it seems like. Lowell and their army of swimmers continue to pile up first, second, third, and fourth places.
Next, we're going on to the girls' 100-yard breaststroke on the varsity level.
And
looks like we have 2 JV races left on the day.
We're getting close to the end. We have 6 races remaining. This one is the varsity girls 100-yard breaststroke. And
we had a false start here.
Oh.
Back it up 5.
Yeah, false start on the refs, I think. Everyone's about ready to go. All right, here we go. And in lane 1 is Washington senior Tulia Yu. In lane 2 is Amanda Yee out of Lowell. In lane 3 is Eliana Smolstein from Lincoln. Then Lowell swimmer Caitlin Leung in lane 4. Michelle Kyung, also from Lowell in lane 5. Heidi Tang, their Lowell teammate, lane 6. Elmi Gong in lane 7 out of Lincoln. Now it looks like the early lead, that is in lane 4. That is Caitlin Leung. Followed closely by lane 5, that's Michelle Kung. And then in lane 3, that is Eliana Smolstein.
So far, which looks like lane 4 has the lead right now, and that would be Caitlin Leung.
Leung is starting to stretch out her lead as she hits the final turn of this race. And she is in second place, it looks like that is in lane 5. That is Michelle Kyung. And then in lane 2, we have a bit of a fight possibly for third place or even second as Amanda Yee starts to charge toward the finish line. So that's going to be Leung in first, and then let's see who came in second. Teammate Dylan Westover in lane 4. Brian Zong from Washington, lane 5. Marston Lee in lane 6 out of Lowell. John Liu in lane 7, freshman out of Washington. And in lane 8 is Nick Kim from Lincoln. And early on, it looks like we have a group of 3. This is lane 4 and 5. And that is Dylan Westover and Brian Zong, who are neck and neck. And it's Westover who has the early lead.
They have 2 links left right now. Lowell again. I feel like, stop me if you've heard this before. Lowell again in the lead. I feel like we're in Groundhog Day right now looking at some of these races. But I don't know if it's like lane 5, correction. If the Washington swimmer there, Brian Zong, if he can make a late push, might be able to get him, but it just looks like it's too much Lowell.
Looks like Westover is going to pull away, and actually in lane 6, looks like Marston Lee might actually overtake Brian. Yes, he did.
He did.
Yes, he did. So that is Dylan Westover who takes the win in the 100-yard breaststroke, and it looks like it was in second place with Marston Lee, also from Lowell, and then third, Brian Zong out of Washington. And Lee made a strong charge there at the end to take second place.
Yeah, he put that, as we were talking earlier, he just took it and put everything he had in the tank. Just emptied his tank and came out with second place here.
All right, so now we are down to our final 4 races. These are our final 2 JV races of the day and of the season, really. So this is the JV girls 200-yard freestyle relay. And we're going to have the Washington team in lane 1, Galileo team in lane 2. Lowell is in lane, take that back, Washington lane 2.
That Galileo had seems to have been advantaged.
And it looks like that second Lowell swimmer, Bonnie Yuen, is closing the gap. And it looks like she has taken the lead as Lowell is finishing up their second leg of the race. And that is quickly into the pool. That is Lisa Jeshakul. As Galileo now tries to catch up after taking a very early lead. As Balboa swimmer Emily Hopp out there in third place in lane 5. And then we have out in lane 6, it is Lincoln's Winnie Chen, who is trying to make up some ground. And then we have Washington's swimmer here in lane 2, Fiona Dang, also trying to make up some lost time. And now it looks like Lowell is starting to pull away from this one, as this is their last swimmer, Stephanie Chen.
Well, here comes Galileo. Let's see if they can make a late charge here.
Chen is on her final turn, and Galileo is trying to make up some ground as Janice Guan trying to make up some sort of space, but Lowell is going to pull away with this one. Chen is going to take this one for Lowell, and it's going to be Galileo coming in second, Balboa in third, Lincoln there in fourth. Looks like we're going to have Washington 5, and then this will be Mission in 6th. And Lowell's time here, 1:54.38, which is a new record. Beating it by milliseconds. The old record at 1:54.71 set last year by, well, guess who? The Lowell JV team. And these are actually some of the same swimmers. Eva Hayert, the opening swimmer for Lowell, was on that team just a year ago.
You know, it seems like every time we say, like, you know, maybe Balboa has a bright future, or Galileo, or Mission, what have you, it just seems like Lowell has that and more. And it just seems like every time one of these other schools has another swimmer or pack of swimmers that could do some damage on the varsity level, Lowell has some in reserve as well. So
I did miss one swimmer on that. That was also Stephanie Chen, the final leg of the Lowell team, also was on that relay team a year ago. So those two broke their own record here today after having a seed time of 1:57. So they even beat that by almost 3 seconds.
And we're down to our final 3 events. Final JV boys event right here. This is the 200-yard freestyle relay. And let's see who it looks like the odds-on favorite here. It looks like this should be a pretty, actually, correction, I take it back. Looking at the seed times here, the team to beat would be Lowell, yet again. And they are going to be in lane 4 for you viewers at home.
This is the junior varsity boys 200-yard freestyle relay. In lane 2 is Mission, and lane 3 Washington. Lane 4 is Lowell, lane 5 Balboa, lane 6 is Galileo, and lane 7 is Lincoln. And very quickly, it looks like we have, actually out in the far lane, it looks like that is Lincoln's Benjamin Au, who had an early lead, but as they hit the turn, it is Lowell's Horace Kwan, who has quickly taken the advantage.
And there you go.
And
Lowell again.
It's Lowell again, and being trailed by Balboa, and it looks like Washington is battling for second right now. Though that Balboa swimmer is Carlo Puerto, and for Washington, that is Eric Chen, or I take it back, actually, that is the Galileo lane. That was Mark Dong. And now Lowell has her third swimmer into the water as the Lowell team continues to increase their lead in this race. This is George Friedland, the sophomore, clearing some space for the Lowell team, and he is booking through this confirmation from lane, I take it back, sorry, 142, it looked like.
New record.
Lane 4, 142.97. That is a new league record.
Shattering the 2007 mark by...
Guess who?
Lowell.
The previous time was 143.29. And this is another record set by this Lowell team. They are just on fire today. And this JV boys team is really trying to reclaim some ownership of that league, because this is a group. I mean, they're reclaiming a championship right now. They have not won a JV championship since 2007. It's been 5 years since they've won it. Well, 5 straight years in which they were not the league champion at the JV level. And by just the numbers going into these races, it Lowell going away. They going into event 38, which was the boys 100-yard breaststroke, and that was a varsity race. The JV Lowell squad had 187 points to second place, which was Lincoln at 45. So this final race was just icing on the cake for that JV squad.
I think it was just to bring it home, to put the exclamation point on just how much they've dominated. And I mean, it's been pretty much, that race pretty much indicated how it's been all day. It's just been a Lowell show, and it's been a dominating effort across the board.
All right, this is our final girls varsity race of the day. This is the girls 400-yard freestyle relay. And it is Washington in lane 3, Lowell in lane 4, Lincoln in lane 5, Balboa in lane 6. And it is Lowell who takes the early lead. That is Caitlin Leung. And in the seed times, Lowell was the dominant team once again, as they had a seed time of 3:44, and no team was even within 30 seconds of them.
So far, it's just been Lowell yet again in lane 3, or correction, lane 4. And
It is trailed by Lincoln there in lane 5, and then it is Balboa in lane 6.
Just Lowell yet again. They already have their final swimmer in the water. Or no, correction, they do not yet.
For Balboa, this would actually be a big move for them if they were to actually finish in third place or even second place as they are getting close. They finished with the worst seed time of any of the teams, but right now they're actually doing fairly well. But as I say that, it looks like the Washington team is starting to gain ground.
Yeah, the Washington swimmer right now, it looks to be, let's see.
This is their third swimmer, so that is Taylor Liu.
Taylor Liu just absolutely made up whatever difference Balboa had. And she's starting to make some distance between her and the Balboa swimmer, which currently is Caitlin Chewy.
We go as Lowell
And Lowell's done. Correction, Lowell's not done. I was looking at the other end of the pool, and they were having their goggles off and relaxing. My mistake.
As Lowell's final swimmer, this is Leslie Fung, the senior, as she is really coasting through this final turn, or these final two turns, I should say. And we are at the 2:29 mark. For reference, the freestyle relay record is 3:48.07. This was set in 2010 by Lowell. And, guess what? Two of the current Lowell swimmers were on that team.
You know, it's a reoccurring theme here that Lowell, they have younger swimmers that are in the major varsity events, so as time goes on, it seems that they're just besting their own mark rather than facing the competition, if you will. It just seems like it's, let me beat my old mark, and, by the way, consolation prize, I was in first place with my new mark.
Those two swimmers are Caitlin Leung and Leslie Fung, and actually, if you look at it, those two, when the record was set, they were both freshmen on this relay team. So it's not like they were even juniors or seasoned veterans. They were freshmen on that relay team back in 2010.
Yeah, actually, looking at the seat time, it looks like they actually already set the mark. It looks like we have an error in our stats for today. But I don't know, the way they're swimming, they might just have a new mark to add to it anyways. It's going to be close.
As we're getting close right here, no, they will not beat their record, as it's going to finish with 3:48.19.
Or 3:46, it looks like. Is it 3:40?
3:48.19 is their final time.
Looking at the wrong time there.
3:48.19 is their final for this one, as they wait for each of the rest of the teams to finish up. It is Lincoln who comes in second. As looks like Washington is now complete. That is, they come in third. So Balboa will be in fourth.
And Balboa, what was frustrating for them, probably if they look back at this tape, is that they had third place and they had it locked in, and then I believe it was Taylor Liu of Washington just absolutely took that lead, destroyed it, and made their own lead there. And Washington just piled on and beat Balboa here. It
really seemed that Balboa kind of lost their steam on that third leg, and they just were not able to recapture what they had going on early on, because it looks like they were even in a fight for second place very early in the first couple legs of the race. All right, so that is the completion of the girls' varsity events for the day, and now we have the final boys' varsity event, the final event of the day, I should say. It is the boys' 400-yard freestyle relay, and this one is going to have Lincoln in lane 3, Lowell in lane 4, and Washington in lane 5.
And looking at this, it's actually very interesting, because for the Lincoln team, out of these three squads, Lincoln actually has both the Boos, Jordan and Jared, who have been very, very successful today, winning all their races individually. But if you look at the seed times, they actually are on the team with the worst numbers-wise. The Lowell team here has numbers coming in of 328, while Lincoln has 330 and Washington has 329. So it should be interesting to see how it responds and if they can best those numbers.
The record for this race was set a year ago by Lowell with 3:23.67, and there are two members of that team currently on this Lowell team. That is Dylan Westover and Matthew Kim. Right now, it looks like it is Lincoln with the early lead. That is Jared Vu.
Then again, we should just not bet against Jared Vu, it looks like. It just seems like he is head and shoulders above the rest of the swimming competition, as we've been saying all day today.
And it looks like it is Washington who is in second place right now. That is Marco Liang, followed by Brandon Chu from Lowell. As
Vu is just opening it up.
As the elder Vu hits his final turn, he has opened up nearly a half pool length of space in between him and second place. And our second swimmer for Lincoln, this is Roy Tam, the sophomore.
Tam's also had a strong day today. It seems like he's been first or second in all the races he's done.
All right, out there in second, you have, that is still Washington, that is Joseph Santariano, and then also Lowell's Dylan Westover in third at the moment.
And you can tell Vu is gassed. I mean, right now he just looks completely gassed there on the side of the pool and put in everything he had into this final lap.
All right, here we go. This is Tam getting down here for the end of his leg, but the lead is being cut. The Lowell and Washington have cut some of the lead, and now Lincoln's Dylan Tang has to try to hold on before he can get to the youngest member of their team, Jordan Vu. And it looks like right now, Lowell is about to overtake Washington. This is Han Chen for Lowell, and that is Washington's Matthew Tam. And looks like Washington and Lowell are neck and neck right now, trying to fight out for second place, but they are still closing the gap on Lincoln. This could come down to the final leg, even for Lincoln, because they are closing it, and they're closing it fast. And here goes our final leg. This is going to be Jordan Vu, who has already won a couple of races today. As now Washington is starting to close the gap.
It looked like the Lowell swimmer his timing was thrown off a little bit. It looked like he kind of hitched before jumping in the pool, and it seems like that's kind of got him and the Lowell team a little bit behind Washington right now.
Vu continues to hold on to this lead, as that is Brian Zong in the far lane for Washington to Matthew Kim for Lowell. And as Vu hits the final leg, this looks like it's going to be Vu in first, and now we're going to get a fight here for second. Is it going to be Washington or Lowell for second? And it looks like Kim may actually overtake Zong at this point. As we hit the stretch, it's going to be close. And it is Washington who holds on for second place in this race, as only fractions of a second separate second and third.
It also looks like, let me just look at the stats real quick. It looks like we might have another new record there.
Lincoln with a time of 3:20.95. That is a new section record, beating the old record by almost 3 seconds. And breaking last year's Lowell's team and their record.
Seems like it's the only insult to injury for the Lowell team there. I mean, they lose a tight race here for second place, and then their record gets blown out here by Lincoln.
All right, and that is our final race of the day. We're going to take a quick break right now, but stay tuned. There's going to be an award ceremony here at the Aquatic Center at City College of San Francisco. You are watching the San Francisco section boys and girls swimming championships here on PlayOnSports.com. All right, welcome back to the post-game show, or post-match show, I should say, for the San Francisco Section Boys and Girls Swim Championships here on playonsports.com. And really, you sat here and watched this, and there were some incredible individual performances on both the boys and the girls side. But the one thing I think that stood out to some of us is when we look at impressive performances, the girls' varsity Lowell team was just overall impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it was the theme all day. Like, the Lowell, across the board, it looks like Lowell just did better than the rest of the competition. But, I mean, even look at the JV level. JV level, I think we have a score of 142 for the girls, and then the next closest team is 108. And then on the girls' varsity level, it's 239 to 92. I mean, teams didn't even get triple digits. They're already almost near 250 or coming close to it. So it's just amazing the level of just dominance by the women's swim programs here at Lowell.
And you really got to see it in that final relay race. And I mean, really, it seemed that every time that Lowell would fall behind early on, they had the strong third and fourth swimmers in relays, and then there would just be an extra gear once all their swimmers hit the final turn.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I mean, I'm at a loss of words. I mean, it was just such a dominating performance across the board. And it just seemed like every race, for girls especially, if Lowell didn't take first, they took second, third, fourth. Or they took first, second, third. I mean, like, they were consistently in the top four. Maybe their worst race, they probably finished fourth, maybe. I don't even know if that was the case. It just seems like they dominated across the board. There was no real competition, especially on the women's varsity level.
And on the boys' side, and maybe the most impressive thing was the individual performances by, well, the two Lincoln teammates, Jared and Jordan Vu, both coming away with 4 wins apiece.
Yeah, I mean, every time they were in the pool, it just seemed like if it was their section of the relay, if it was them individually, they pulled away. I think the only one that was close, Jordan was racing one of the times, and it was kind of neck and neck. But other than that, it was just always just a dominating performance, especially by Jared Vu, who just every time he got in the pool, he would just pull away from people. It seemed like everyone was kind of swimming in jello, and he was just skiing along there on the surface.
Jared owns a couple of the section records over the last couple of years, and even broke a couple of them this year, one of them being in the relay, that final match we saw. And then even Jordan, the freshman out of Lincoln, who, I mean, he's racing varsity at the varsity level as a freshman, and he's already breaking section records. We're going to be hearing a lot from Jordan Vu in the years to come, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I almost don't want to tell, or don't want the other swimmers to know that, you know, this kid's only a freshman, and he was dominating for the most part across the board today. So it's probably not a good feeling if you're at these at Washington or Lowell to know that this kid's only a freshman and just setting records. So,
all right. Overall, after today's events, Lowell swept all 4 of the round robins. They swept 3 of the 4 round robins during the regular season. The only one they did not get was the girls JV, but here at the championships, they were able to take all 4. The final point totals for the women's varsity, it was Lowell with 239, Lincoln with 92, Washington 52, and Balboa 38. The varsity boys, it was Lowell with 169, Lincoln with 121, Washington 118, Galileo with 37, and Wallenberg with 18. The girls JV, Lowell finished with 142, Balboa 108, Galileo 73, Lincoln 62, Washington 34, and Mission 12. And then finally it is the boys JV, Lowell 205, Lincoln 55, Balboa 50, Washington 49, Galileo 43, and Mission 28. And that was really, once again, Lincoln continues its dominance. The boys JV for Lowell, this is their first championship since 2007. So there is another thing to look at for Lowell to add on to the continued success that they have had in the other sections of the swim program.
Yeah, and it just seems like just across the board that just the other programs, especially the Balboa, Washington, Galileos, like they're that next tier. It just seems like on the varsity boys level, it's Lowell and Lincoln. And then there's that second tier of programs, the trio there. But other than that, it just seemed like it was just a dominated event. No matter what happened, it just seemed like Lowell, as we were saying throughout the telecast, Lowell wins again, or guess who that is? It's Lowell again in second and first and third place. So just a great effort across the board by the Lowell swim team.
And as we do this, each of the participants in here, the first, second, and third place winners, are receiving their medals across the pool from us. And then the team awards will be handed out. But I believe that's going to do it for us. Once again, on behalf of my partner, Mike Cronowit, I'm Zach Farmer. You've been watching the San Francisco section of the Boys and Girls Swimming Championships on PlayOnSports.com. Join us again for another Play On Sports event live on our website on PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.